welcome back to my YouTube channel. By the way, happy new year. It's 2019 and I'm still carrying on with my not resolution but like my goal of trying to read at least one book a month. I did terribly last year, absolutely shocking. I'm trying to do better this year. I'm probably going to mix it up a bit with some self-help books, and maybe because I struggle to read for pleasure, not like diving into like really massive books. But last year a colleague gave me this book, The Godfather, because I said The Godfather was literally one of my favorite movies. And I didn't even know it was from a book. I was like, wait, what? It has a book? I didn't know. And so I was like really and super excited to actually like read the book. And honestly, I am so glad I did, because it's like such a really different like it's just so completely different from the movie. And it's like, that's one thing about books as well, it's like get into like the different characters and their thought processes in like a different way that the movie doesn't explain. So it's really such a good read, and I was quite pleased that I actually read the book. But I think I can't talk about The Godfather and the book obviously without explaining that I was a bit offended when I was reading the book, not gonna lie. I was just like, okay, what is this? Like, why? Because it's like, it's very derogatory to women. They would refer to women as broads and sluts, and there was all this talk about prostitution. And I feel like the same way it kind of like what's the word again, when you make something like it trivializes, like the mafia. It did the same thing about like prostitution and like all that kind of stuff, and how it's like it's not that big of a deal and things like this. And it was the way that the men refer to women in the book, and the whole Italian, I guess, perception of what women and manhood is like, and that was very interesting. But it was also very like derogatory to black people as well. There was a lot of use of the N-word in the book, which I found yeah, very annoying. It was like there was some parts of the book where someone said something about how you know, someone I think that had like black friends showed like a lack of character, or like a fault in character. I was like, who said that? I was like, excuse me, like, what, did you really just say that? So that was annoying to see. But other than that, like, it was such a great book. I mean, I think everybody knows the story of The Godfather. I think from reading the book though, I can't even pick who was my favorite son. I don't think they focused on the last one that ended up going to Vegas and being a hoe. The son, but I'm not sure who he is anymore. I think his name starts with a J, I can't even remember. But I only know Sonny, obviously Santino, and Michael Corleone, obviously. But I think something that I learned that was quite interesting from Michael was how he had spent his entire life running away from his dad and like family business and everything, and in the end he ended up becoming the person that was the Don. So that was quite interesting. I think that was a twist that I definitely didn't see coming in the book. Like, I didn't even think of it, even though I'd seen the movie. I saw the movie like such a long time ago, and I can't remember like any part of it because I haven't seen the movie since then. I'm gonna watch the movie this weekend just after I read the book to see how I feel and what it's like to compare. So yeah, it was really interesting, and it was like tense, and I feel like they gave a lot of detail about some things that I didn't really care to know about. Like when they started explaining, there was some Bokikyo, I think that's how you say their names, like the people who they use as like a bargaining chip when they're trying to make have a meeting, and some family like sends a bargaining chip of this Bokikyo, and if something happens to them you pay and things like that. And they went into like the detail of the Bokikyo family and how that became like their family business, which I thought was quite, you know, it's like TMI, to be honest. I was like, yeah. I really liked the doctor. I think it was, what's his name again? Was it Jules? That was that ended up being like the boyfriend, I think, or partner of Lucy Mancini. And I think, I don't know, for some weird reason, like when I read the book, I had like a vivid memory, not memory, or like glimpse of like Ryan Reynolds, like Deadpool guy Ryan Reynolds, playing the doctor, because he has the same like, I don't know, just the same, like, I just got the same vibe, and I thought that would be really interesting. I think it'd be really cool if they do like a remake of The Godfather in like our present day. to see what it's like and see who they choose and who they pick, and like to go through the story again. Obviously I know, I think obviously Al Pacino was Michael Corleone in the movie, and I think the Godfather, like who they chose in the movie, is actually, I'm not even sure if anyone else can play the Godfather as much as he does. It'll be interesting to see what kind of actors are out there now, and if they can do the same, as good as a job as he did. I was really upset when Santino, Sonny Corleone, died. Honestly, that was like quite a shock. I felt like it was gonna happen, because seeing how the book painted him and like the rage and everything, I was like, you're gonna do something and get yourself killed, you bastard. And so when he eventually died, that was a shock. Actually, that was such a shock. Another thing that was a shock as well was, I wasn't surprised, but it was a shock when he came in the book, was Michael Corleone's Italian wife. When she died, I was like, the poor girl, because he obviously he ended up being the person who shot the policeman and the family that tried to kill their father. So he went away to Sicily to hide, and there he found this girl, this Italian girl, married her and everything. The relationship was a bit gross, because like the book explained that she was really young, and he had like this possessiveness and this desire to possess her. I was like, okay, devil. But when she died, I really did not expect that. I did not see that coming. I was like, the poor girl, they just wasted like her life, because I swear they knew each other for like a year and a bit, and then this next thing you know, obviously the mafia and like the fathers and people from New York had heard that he was hiding out in Sicily, and they came to try and kill him, and that was quite sad. And I was really upset for the girl, like the poor girl, to be honest. It was really annoying. So I think those were the real shockers, but definitely the biggest one is that Michael was the one who became the Don. And even when he like volunteered to kill the policeman and the guy obviously who made the attempt on the dad's life, I was shocked, because I definitely did not see that coming. I also did, one other thing I didn't see coming was him, when his Italian wife died, he moved back to New York and he proposed to Kay Adams, who is like the white chick, but they're all white, but like the American girl that he was in love with before he went to Sicily. And it was interesting how their relationship, like she agreed to the relationship that he wanted them to have. He knew obviously he was going to take over his father and become the Don, and he was like, you can't ask me any questions about my life, you can't ask me any questions about what I do for a living, it's just business, blah blah blah. So that was interesting. But it was such a mastermind, like what they did in the end, about like getting revenge on every single person who was responsible for obviously killing Santino, Sonny Corleone, who was responsible for trying to make an attempt on their father's life, who was responsible for killing his wife Apollonia. And I was like, yes, come through with the revenge. And I think that's where I remember always Silver saying that revenge is best served cold, because the dad made a kind of like a pledge that he wasn't going to avenge his son's death, just to keep the peace between like the different families and New York mafia or whatever. And then the dad died, and before the dad died, he helped his son Michael to obviously like mastermindly plan like the revenge and everything. And it was, the execution I thought was like completely amazing. And I think they definitely did have to put that bit there where Kay Adams found out that he'd done obviously the killing of quite a lot of people, including people in his family who had betrayed them. And because it just shows that you can't really get everything, you can't get away with everything, you can't, yeah. And it's interesting that she threatened to divorce him and took the kids away. Like I was like, are you trying? Like he's like, he could actually have the kids if he wanted to, but obviously he didn't do anything forcefully to get the kids back, and I think she eventually did move in with him. I think the way the book ended though, it's interesting that Kay, who was an atheist American girl, became Catholic and had bought 2 kids for him. And I don't know, it was really interesting. It's really interesting how people, sometimes you can like have a really strong idea of who you are and what your life is going to be like and what you like, and life just happens, isn't it? Life happens. And yeah, and it was interesting, I think the last part where I had to Google it like to see if did she actually try to poison him, because in the last part of the book it says that she lit a candle and said a prayer for her husband's soul. So I was like, did she poison him and she was praying for him after she tried to kill him? Or, but I don't think so. I don't think she was stupid enough to make an attempt on the Don's life. So I think she just knew, obviously after finding out what her husband does for a living, she was like, you need Jesus, basically. My hand looks mad light in this thing. This is terrible. So yeah, that's my review of the book. Definitely such a great read. Definitely such a great read. Yeah, thank you so much. I think I have another one that I've done, actually a book review that I've done a while ago, from last year, and I need to post that one, and it's in the works, but I will eventually get to it. So yes, thank you so much for stopping by my video and checking out this book review. See you. My hair is doing too much, like, just stop it. Yes, see you in my next video. I just hit my mouth. I really just hit my mouth. Bye.